Bald people of the world, it's time. Hello everyone, I'm Just Some Reader, and welcome to One Man's Book Trash, where I dive into what people don't want to find some real treasure. Today, we're going to be talking about Curb Your Enthusiasm, the book by Deidre Dolan. So one day I was walking through the thrift store and, you know, as I do looking for books, I don't like looking for anything else at the thrift store really. But I remember walking through one of the aisles and I don't remember what section it actually was. It was either like biography or like the comedy section they have there. But I found this book. All right. And there's a very specific reason how I found this book. And that's because how can you pass up the spine of this book? Look at the spine of this book. Imagine walking through the store and you're looking at the bookshelves and then just suddenly you see this bald Jewish man looking at you. Let's put it on my shelf for reference, shall we? All right, let's move you around. So imagine you're walking by. Imagine you're walking by and you look. It's beautiful. It's absolutely stunning. This is one of the best parts of this book. I don't think I've seen any other book like this. Maybe a manga will have like a character on the spine, right? But nothing has Larry David staring right at you. Anyway, let's put this back. But if you're watching this and wondering what the heck is Curb Your Enthusiasm and why is there a book of it? Let me tell ya. So Curb Your Enthusiasm was a comedy show that ran on HBO from the year 2000 to 2024. And it was written and stars this man, Larry David, one of the creators and writers of Seinfeld. There are 12 total seasons to the show, but this book only goes over seasons 1 through 5. Curb Your Enthusiasm follows a fictionalized version of our friend Larry David here. We get to see all the trouble that Larry gets himself into with all, like, literally anyone. We get rich people, just normal people, people in the entertainment industry, because of all the little idiosyncrasies of life. Because Larry is just kind of an asshole. That's the thing about Curb Your Enthusiasm. I think most of the characters are just assholes, but they try to, like, put on these airs of like etiquette even though they're still acting completely insane. And that's where the comedy really shines. But I hear you saying, Mr. Reader, if this is an HBO TV show, who the heck is the author Deidre Dolan? Does she have anything to do with Curb Your Enthusiasm? And it's a book? This book is basically a behind the scenes book where we get to look at all the backgrounds of like what happened in each episode and what the actors were thinking, and also interviewing the actors and writers and directors within Curb Your Enthusiasm. Now, because it's a bunch of interviews, we need an interviewer, and that's who Deidre Dolan is. She's the person who interviewed everyone within this book, from what I gather. Now, who's Deidre Dolan? Here's what I could find on her. So Deidre Dolan is a journalist who wrote for newspapers and magazines, and also apparently for Jimmy Kimmel? I get that's what it says in the biography on the Huffington Post website that I found. This book is basically one of her biggest credits. Like, she did all the interviews in this book. But there's also one other thing I found out about her. And she wrote a different book collaborating with another journalist. And that's a very long titled book, so I'm going to just read it off to you. The Complete Organic Pregnancy, a calm research-based guide to avoiding toxins and creating a safe, natural home for baby. Not the baby, for baby. So as far as I know, this woman wrote Curb Your Enthusiasm, the book, and also a book about pregnancy. I don't think there's anything more Curb Your Enthusiasm than that. I don't know, something about it seems like something Larry would put in an episode for some reason. Now that that's out of the way, let's just talk about this book, shall we? Whew. Right off the bat, this book is all in color. See, we've got Larry David's face right there. So we've got all these glossy pages that have all kinds of colors because there are a lot of pictures in this book. So they gotta show stuff off in all its colored glory, like some behind the scenes stuff, just like some artifacts from the show and whatnot. Pretty cool if you've watched Curb Your Enthusiasm. If we go to the table of contents, we can see how this book is laid out. all right? How it's like really structured. So here's our table of contents. I'm covering up Larry David in the ocean right now. Don't worry about it. So basically, like I said, this book is structured with a bunch of different interviews between different seasons, right? Different big chunks of seasons. Big seasonal blocks. So like after the introduction, we get some interview with Larry David where he answers some questions. Then we dive into all 10 episodes of season 1, which each have like their own little quote about what happened in the episode, including the HBO special that was a kind of pilot. And then after the episode guide of season 1, we get like a look into the improv process. Like there isn't a script written for it, but we do get a, let me flip to it real quick. We get like people get an outline for the scene, right? And then all of this text is what was improv out and put into the episode, right? They didn't read off the script or memorize the script. They just thought it up in the moment. Because how Curb Your Enthusiasm works as a TV show is it's not scripted per se. Like I said, they get an outline. All the actors get an outline of what should happen in the scene. And sometimes like specific things they should say, but not very often. And then they're just told to go. And if they say something funny, they say something funny. It's much like how I'm approaching this episode of One Man's Book Trash. I have barely written a script for this when I usually write a script for my videos, because that's just the Curb Your Enthusiasm way, to not have a script. So the thing about this structure is I don't super care about the episode guides. Like the quotes for each one are pretty interesting, and it's been a while since I've actually watched through seasons 1 through 5. I remember each of these episodes, but you know, we get like a short summary. Like, we get a short summary on the left of the page, on this page. Like, we get episode 1, The Pants Tent. We get a short summary on the side. We get a list of all the guest stars and actors that were featured in there. I don't really know any of them, except for, like, the big ones. We get a quote from the episode, when it originally aired, the director of that episode. And on the side, we get what happens in this episode, which are kind of like little trivia nuggets. Like for this one, episode 1, the show's theme song is Frolic by Luciano Michelini. Years before he had the idea for Curb, David heard the song on a bank commercial and tracked it down thinking it might one day be useful. Like, it's a little fun nugget of trivia. And then below that, there's What Were They Thinking, which is a bunch of quotes that I guess Deidre Dolan interviewed people about. Like, oh, what did you think about what happened in episode 1? And they're like, and Richard Lewis is like, oh, I can know if, well, one of my favorite scenes ever is in this episode or whatever. But also sometimes they don't have a What Were They Thinking. I think like in a couple of sections they don't. I guess they didn't ask anyone. Sometimes we get a little snippet of that improv, like what they said, like in this one in episode 8 of season 1. And then we also sometimes get these little Davidisms, which is just a quote from Larry David from this episode. Like this is a little Davidism from episode 7. Larry to Cheryl about the dinner party she's planning. I'd like to make a little bet with you that I'm not close to having a good time. Do you want to make a little bet? So basically for me, that dives into each episode. I don't really care what's on the left. I'm here to learn more about Curb Your Enthusiasm because I watched it already. But the interviews, that's where it's really at. Like a lot of these interviews, I really get a sense of kind of who these people are and what it was like being on Curb Your Enthusiasm. And I feel like everyone, the consensus I got from this book is like, Curb Your Enthusiasm ruled. It ruled to work on. It was just so fun. Everyone wanted to be on Curb Your Enthusiasm because it was that fun to do. We also get some looks into more behind the scenes stuff that aren't interviews. Like sometimes we have storyboards for important scenes. Like this is from a season where Larry David is a part of the musical The Producers for, oh, what's his name? Mel Brooks. So they have like what's going on, I guess in the, like what should happen in that episode, because there's like a specific vision that Larry has for it, but not necessarily what people have to say in it, right? There's still that improv sense. And also, like I said earlier, there are big pictures of like artifacts from the show. Like there's this little baby. What was this baby from? Oh, I guess the biracial baby shower gift. Thank you, Larry. We've got Chet's shirt down here. Oh, this is what is it? Is this the yes, this is the kebab skewer that Larry David blinded. What's his name? Not Steve Carell. The Zoolander guy. Whatever that, in post I'll say who it is. But the Zoolander guy, he blinded him in one episode with a kebab skewer by Curb Your Enthusiasm. What a great show. Love the show. We've also got a list of filming locations. Very fun. But let's talk about a few standout moments from this book that I want to talk about. In the first Larry David interview, it's funny that Larry's like, I wasn't funny. I wasn't funny as a kid. I didn't care. Like, listen to this. So Deidre asks, your friends didn't even find you funny? And then Larry says, the friends I had in high school did not find me remotely amusing. See, Mr. David, that's funny to me. That kind of goes into like the sense that other comics talk about Larry in this book as when Larry was doing stand-up in, what was it? I think it's the 70s or 80s, something like that. It was kind of like Larry was the comics comic, like the comedian's comedian. The comedian that all the comedians like, but not necessarily the audience likes. There's one thing that I remember about the Cheryl Hines interview is that people keep thinking that she's his actual wife when in reality she isn't. And the funniest thing about that now is that Cheryl Hines is famously married to Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the guy who sounds like a bunch of rocks is in his throat and they're all on fire and there's like 3 lizards fighting in there. And also they are all smoking. I don't even want to try doing an RFK impression because it's gonna kill my throat and I don't know really how to do one. But anyway, she's no bueno anymore, in my opinion, allegedly. There's also another interview with Susie Essman, I believe is her name, who played Susie Green on the show, Jeff's wife. Often when people come up to her, those people want her to call them a fat fuck. She calls her husband that a lot in the show. Like, you fat! Like, really angry. They just want her to get really angry at them for some reason. And she's like, I think they're low-key into it. I don't know, but I'll do it anyway. It's kind of goofy. Also, apparently, like, suburban housewives love her, and she's, like, their idol because they're always yelling at their husbands. And, like, a big through line throughout all the interviews is, like, it's really fun to get Larry to laugh, and once you get him to laugh, all of your stress about doing good in the show, like, kind of goes away, and you get more comfortable. And that's kind of why working on Curb Your Enthusiasm was so fun, because it was just fun. It was just fun to, like, shoot the shit with people and just keep filming cracking jokes. And also, Larry was very clear about, like, what people should be doing. Like, if they should go harder, or they should, like, emphasize something else more, just direct straight to the point, like, you shouldn't do this. Or, I think you should do something else. Now, let's talk about who this book is even for. Because it's very clearly for Curb Your Enthusiasm fans. It's built for Curb Your Enthusiasm fans. I believe this came out in like 06 or 07. So it's like, you're not getting this book if you've never heard of Curb Your Enthusiasm. If you do, why? Like, imagine you've never seen this show and you're like, oh, I really want to learn more about Curb Your Enthusiasm. I guess I'll go buy an entire hardcover book about it. I imagine this book was not cheap. I mean, it was cheap when I bought it because it was at a thrift store, but back in the day, it was, I don't know, probably like $25 or something. Maybe more? There are a lot of color pages in here, so that'll drive up the cost of the book, especially since it's hardcover. So if you're a Curb Your Enthusiasm fan, you're probably gonna like this book. If you just, like, read through it, want to read the interviews, it's pretty fun behind the scenes if you want to see what was going on in Curb Your Enthusiasm from seasons 1 through 5 and what the people thought about it. Or at the very least, it's to show off how much you love Curb Your Enthusiasm. So you can have Larry David staring at you from your bookshelf, because that in itself is kind of just It's so funny. It's goddamn it. But I think that's all I wanted to say about Curb Your Enthusiasm, the book. I'm going to give it thumbs up, thumbs down. This definitely isn't a bad book. If you like Curb Your Enthusiasm, you're going to like this book because you want to know more about Curb Your Enthusiasm. You're not buying this book if you don't know anything about Curb Your Enthusiasm. So I'm not going to recommend it to people who haven't watched Curb Your Enthusiasm. This is for people who have watched Curb and want to know more about Curb. But really, I would only recommend it to those people. I can't, like, recommend it to anyone because this is very specifically for Curb fans. But for those Curb fans, they're probably gonna like it. The only parts that really drag are the episode descriptions because it's like, yeah, I don't really care about the summaries of each episode. I know what happened in it. I like, as I was reading, I was like, oh my god, can we get to the interview yet? Like, as I was going through, like, the season descriptions and the episode descriptions, even, like, the improv stuff, I just wanted to read the interviews because those were the most entertaining. Like, the little quotes on each episode were pretty fun. I enjoyed that, and the little trivia sections, those were the best parts of those, like, season breakdowns. But the interview stuff is really the cream of the crop here. So yeah, if you like Curb Your Enthusiasm and want to know more about Curb Your Enthusiasm, I recommend it. For anyone else, why are you reading this book? The only reason I would recommend this book to someone who hasn't watched Curb Your Enthusiasm is also part of the same reason why I would recommend it to people who like Curb Your Enthusiasm. And that's to have Larry David sitting on your shelf. Like, this expression is so funny. I guess you could, like, also putting it like this, displaying it like this, also pretty funny, just thinking. Displaying it like this, not the worst. I like how if you're, like, reading in your library or whatever, your home library, you're just reading a book, you look over, and Larry David is peering at you with his glasses. Pretty good. Pretty good. Or just Larry David staring at you is, it's priceless. It's really priceless. Except it's not. I think I paid like $5 for this. So there is a price on Larry David. But that's going to be it for today's episode of One Man's Book Trash. A pretty short one, I think, because there's not really much I have to say about it. It's just a bunch of interviews. I feel like I can't really get into all the interviews because that's what makes up the entire book. I can't go over all the interviews in it because why else would you read the book? But anyway, be sure to let me know what you thought of Curb Your Enthusiasm, the book, in the comments down below. And while you're down there, be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to support the channel a little bit more and also be entertained while you're at it, you can go ahead and buy my fantasy heist novel, The Magician's Rule, on Amazon right now, available in ebook, paperback, and hardcover editions. Buying the book really helps me keep making videos. I've got a lot of secondhand books to get into and also some ideas for other book-related content in the future. So join me next time on One Man's Book Trash as we go over Walter Mosley's mystery thriller novel, The Man in My Basement. You'll never guess who's in the basement. It just might be a man. See you there.